Everybody, Happy New Year 2026. With it being a new year, computers are about to get a lot more expensive. Well, they're already heading that direction as it is, thanks to this wonderful thing called AI, or as I like to call it, ALI. AI stands for Artificial Intelligence. My nickname for it stands for Artificial Limited Intelligence. Because let's face it, AI, in my opinion, is pretty dumb. I'm pretty sure if you've ever seen some AI generated images replicating certain real life scenes, you may know where I'm coming from there. But thanks to AI, there's this huge demand for data centers. What do data centers have in them? They have servers. And of course, I posted a video recently talking about several reasons why the AI bubble needs to pop. And I'll put a link up there if you'd like to check that out. Memory manufacturers are, of course, favoring AI data centers over your personal computer needs. So they're saying screw you to the PC manufacturers in a way. They're definitely saying screw you to the custom build market. For example, memory has nearly doubled in price. In some cases, even more than that in just the past, 6 months to a year. For example, back in 2023, although I know this is an older example, it was the last time I bought a big memory kit. Back in June 2023, I purchased a 32 gigabyte kit, paid $57.99 for it on Amazon. And of course now, that same memory, as of this video, retails for $109.99 on Amazon. I know the RAM example isn't the best because, again, my example was from 2023. However, I think it's safe to say that memory prices from 2023 to 2024 and into 2025 were pretty stable. We didn't really start to see this surge until, let's say, after this summer or just in 2025 in general. A better example would be solid state drives. So, for example, I purchased in October of 2025 a King Spec 512 gig 2.5 inch SATA SSD. I paid $36.97 for it on Amazon. That very same solid state drive now costs $69.97 for the same thing, not even half a year later. So yeah, pretty insane. So nearly double in price, and before too long it will be double in price. And for those of you who are building a new game PC or looking to get you a nice GPU for that system, got bad news for you. GPUs are, of course, being hogged up by AI demand as well. So, for example, I've seen this article from Tech4Gamers, which I'll put a link in the description. RTX 5090 price expected to increase up to $5,000 US dollars in 2026 as memory shortage worsens. So yeah, if you want a high-end graphics card, you're going to be spending as much as you would spend on a used car for a freaking graphics card. Like, are you serious? $5,000. That is insane. So the cost of building a new PC or buying a new PC is getting more expensive, and it's going to get worse. Well, that's bad news for Microsoft, thanks to their Microsoft Elite Class System Requirements Windows 11. That's my nickname for the Windows 11 system requirements. They want you to have a relatively new PC to have Windows 11, so that's not going to be good news for Windows 11 adoption. Sure, they can cut support for Windows 10, but people are not going to throw away a perfectly usable computer, especially with the price of new hardware right now. Now, granted, you don't have to have a brand new PC to meet the Windows 11 system requirements. You can buy a computer that was manufactured, let's say, 2020, and it will most likely meet the system requirements of Windows 11. But even older stuff, we're talking like 2020 hardware, for example. People are going back to using DDR4 memory. People are going back to using socket AM4 CPUs from the AMD side of things because the cost of DDR5 is so freaking expensive. So, for example, we're looking on Amazon right now, DDR5 32 gigabyte kits. For example, since I mentioned 32 gigabyte kit just a moment ago. So, for example, for a desktop, and this is like generic memory from what I can tell, Pool Skill DDR5 RAM 32 gigabyte kit, $379.99. Dadgum, I could build a PC for that price a few years ago with similar hardware. Like I said, 2023 I spent not a whole lot on a 32 gigabyte kit of RAM. For example, this Gigastone RAM here. This is another desktop memory kit. But yet, it's a 32 gigabyte kit. $528.99. Or let's say if you got a new laptop, you want to put a 32 gigabyte kit in your laptop. That'll set you back $251. It's insane. These prices are just ridiculous for RAM. So yeah, the price of RAM right now is nearing the cost of a whole computer a few years ago. Not, of course, not a high-end system, but you could build let's say a moderate system. Let's say, for example, an AMD, it's like an AM4 Ryzen 5 APU-based setup with 32 gigs of RAM for roughly that price. I mean, $500-$600. You could do it. For example, if you had an existing case laying around, and let's say some existing other components, sure, you could pull it off. But yeah, now the cost of this RAM is just ridiculous. So I think it's safe to say that older hardware is going to be great again. People are going to be sticking with their older computers, and they're going to be, dare I say it, giving Microsoft the middle finger when it comes to the Microsoft Elite Class System requirements Windows 11. And of course, that's why we'll continue to do tutorials on bypassing the stupid requirements Windows 11. And of course, I already have many on the channel as it is. And that's why, I've been an advocate for using and reusing existing hardware wherever you can, especially now in this year, 2026. Crazy to think on Q Computer Company's 20th anniversary. Yes, Q Computer Company will be 20 years old in May. We're now seeing RAM costs that are just through the roof. And I tell you, there's so many other things about this AI that are just scary. I don't much care for AI. As a tech person, I'm telling you, I do not care for AI. I have yet to ever engage with a conversation with a chatbot, let's say ChatGPT, or let's say Meta's AI, or Google's Gemini, or Microsoft Copilot, even though all of these examples, well, with the exception of ChatGPT, because I haven't accessed the website, all of those other ones, for example, they try so hard for me to engage me to use them. Again, in my prior video, I talked about this, for example, with Copilot, and I think with Gemini as well. I'm just not a fan of this AI. I think it's garbage in a way. It takes away critical thinking. People are more encouraged to just ask the chatbot a question and have it answer your question. Or instead of doing a conventional search for something, just ask the AI bot what you're looking for and have it do the searching for you. Now, there have been maybe a couple of occasions where sometimes Google's AI answer in the Google search may have sort of what I'm looking for, but yeah, between that, the dumb AI systems at, let's say, your Wendy's or Bojangles drive-thru, this generative AI stuff out there that, for example, on Facebook, takes your profile pictures and any other picture you have set to public and does these little recreations of them. And let's not forget all the various stuff I see out there. And in a way, I think it's cool. In a way, I do think it's cool. But in a way, I think it's just flat out dumb. But yeah, this AI that many people did not sign up for, didn't ask for, here it is. It's here. It's driving up your PC costs. It's going to drive up your electricity costs. It's going to make the quality of living worse if you happen to be living in an area where a data center gets built, which there's a video on YouTube from a place out of Virginia where these people have lived for decades and now these data centers are getting built in their backyards. It's not good. It's really not good at all. As I said in my prior video, the AI bubble really needs to pop. So anyways, that's my first video for the new year 2026. If you enjoyed this video, thanks for watching.